Thank you guys for all of the great support on the final episode of last season yesterday. I very much appreciated it. I also want to say a big thank you to the Patreons that continue to show their support consistently here on the channel month after month. It's thanks to your support that we're able to continue to do this full time, so thank you very much for that. As we start Season 2 here at Hull, we are, of course, spoilers, a championship side now, after winning promotion and the league, as it happens in yesterday's season finale. So we're looking forward to getting stuck into championship football. We don't know how quickly we'll be able to rise through this division and get to the Premier League. It might well take a little while because I'd like to put my faith in the youngsters that have gotten this far and the youngsters that look like they have the potential to take us yet further still. I am torn as to whether to give Charles Barnett the start regularly ahead of Josh McGuinness. If you compare their stats here on the right-hand side, 5-star, 5-star for Charlie Barnett, and he's equal on pace, and his shooting, passing, and dribbling stats, which are the kind of most important ones as a striker, are all better. He isn't as good defensively, which doesn't matter. He is, admittedly, nowhere near as strong. His stamina is only 8 less than Josh McGuinness's. So I would imagine with the right morale and sharpness boosts, he'd be just as competitive and just as frequent a goal scorer as McGuinness, although he isn't anywhere near as tall. He's only 5'8", not 6'2". So maybe we start the season with McGuinness, but certainly Charlie Barnett is the future of the front line of this team, so I don't want to neglect his potential and have it lessened by not getting enough first team football. The starting 11 looks great as it is. We do, though, know that we need a new right back, as Louis Coyle left us last season, as he wasn't happy with the amount of first team football he was getting. I currently only have one backup wing back in Fleming. That is it. I have one backup centre back that's really worth anything, McLaughlin, and he's considerably behind the other two that start. We do have Greaves, who I'm going to send out on loan again. Arthur is going to go, and other than that, I'm not sure what to do. We have about 13 million to spend. I think I'd like to buy a right back, but I'm tempted to wait until January. My youth scouts are out currently searching. I have my English scouts searching Germany for a goalkeeper, as we're looking to eventually replace George long term. And of course, the other backup goalkeepers we have aren't good enough. So I'm going to look for a young goalkeeper, looking for the next Neuer, the next ter Stegen, the next Oliver Kahn to come in and become our starting, to come in and become our backup goalkeeper with a view to him starting later down the line. And also Christian Olafsson, the worldy scout that has given us so many great Scots, is going to search England for new defenders or defensive-minded players. I'm looking, really, because we have so many great potential players in attack and in midfield now with Gunn and Barr and Barnett and maybe not Main, actually, but Grant and Nielsen and Andrew. But I'm looking for defensive players. I don't have any regens that are either centre-backs or wing-backs or a goalkeeper. So that's where I'm looking this season with my youth players. What do the board want from me this year? That's going to be important. I'm curious to know what they want from us, having just won the league below. Youth development-wise, we've still got a season left to do that, and I certainly do believe that we'll be able to do that with the amount of young players we've called up to the first team squad that should see a number of first team performances from them this season. Get a streak of 5 matches without defeat in home games. That should be achievable, but it's not going to be easy. Financially, we were able to keep the salary growth under 10% last year. That's continually ticked from last year. It hasn't refreshed this year. And then the long-term goal, we still have 2 seasons remaining to increase the club worth by 100%. We've already done it by 62, so that's not a problem whatsoever. And domestically, they only want a mid-table finish. They're not being too ambitious, the whole City board. I like that. It eases the pressure, especially considering we're looking to kind of bring through the youth and build for the future. They've done very well to get us this far. Can they take us further? Those young players that are regens, and of course those young players that are already in the side, the real-life players, like Keane, Lewis Potter, etc. So hopefully they can continue to take us further, and with their continued first-team exposure, their growth shouldn't be affected either, and they should go on to much greater things in this save. That's the plan, at least, with continental success not being of any real importance whatsoever, because we got no continental games to play. So in the pre-season tournament, we have Rosenborg from Norway, I believe. It's Kassim Pasa. I don't know where they're from, I'm afraid. And Mulder, who I believe are also Norwegian. I don't know where Kassim Pasa are from. I might actually have Kassim Pasa are from Turkey. And just to double check, I'm pretty sure Mulder are Norwegian. Indeed they are. And Rosenborg, I'm pretty sure they are Norwegian as well. Rosenborg. Or Rosenborg, sorry. It's an O, not an E, isn't it? Rosenborg. Yes, also Norwegian. So, with about £3 million available via the pre-season tournament, which we went out in the group stage last year, and £13 million available to spend, I'm probably... The only place I definitely am thinking about buying is at right back. But that... It does kind of depend what we get from the youth scouts. So I'm cautious. I've sent the scouts out right away, though. So we should get a scout report back at the beginning of August. Meaning that, hopefully, after we've played Fleetwood in this episode, we've gotten to the QPR game, which we may or may not play in today's video. We will kind of know whether they're going to find some good defenders or not. Because you tend, when you search for defensive-minded players, to get CDMs and centre-backs. If there's someone that we can convert to a wing-back role or a full-back role, I certainly am open to doing that. I've put a number of players on the transfer list, as you saw. Arthur, Bonds. I accidentally said I'm happy you're going. Sorry, Bonds, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to say there. And Billy Chadwick as well. I do have on the shortlist, as he's now a free agent, Hakeem Adelican. But I'm not wanting to sign him as things stand because of the sheer number of young talent we have and their potential too. Maine is on the transfer list. Grant is on the loan list, I believe. Maine is just not good enough, unfortunately. So we are still looking to sell or loan a number of players. You can see here, transfer list. So Jones, Chadwick, Tishpanda, Bonds, Cartwright, Arthur, Mayer, and Grant. Actually, I'm selling Grant, and Maine is on the loan list. I did it the other way around. Okay. I knew I'd done something to those two. I couldn't quite remember which. We'll automatically just quick sim this pre-season tournament. Hopefully we can get ourselves some decent results here. It's a draw against Rosenborg to start, although Mulder and Kassim Pasa also draw as well. So we'll wait and see what happens in this transfer window. But you can see Midland have offered for Matt Ingram. Now, I mentioned I'm going to be looking for a young goalkeeper. I am. The initial plan was not to sell Ingram until January, so that I had at least someone that was half decent in case we lost our first team goalkeeper, George Long. Ingram is 68, Long is 71. Now, I'm still thinking about waiting until January to sell Matt Ingram, just in case we don't get a good enough youth player to start. Now, Reece Burke, I am wanting to keep hold of as well, and I certainly think we can realistically turn down an offer from Bruce from the Belgian division, so certainly I'm quite happy to do that and not really worrying about realism in that aspect at present. We win against Mulder. That is our first pre-season tournament win ever. We won a cup for the club for the first time ever in the last episode as well, of course. That being the EFL trophy, which we will now no longer be able to play in, provided we don't get relegated from the Championship. A bid for Alfie Jones, who is a player I'm looking to sell, and I'm quite happy to accept that straight away at £1.5 million. We're not actually looking to spend that much money because we absolutely want to concentrate on the youth. Ingram's actually grown to 69 now, which actually makes it even more of an option for us. I don't believe there's too many players with... Okay, I might have been wrong. In fact, most of my squad, at least half of my squad, only has a year left on their contract, so we might need to spend a fair chunk of money improving players' wages. And if I can get them on longer-term deals to cover us whilst we move in towards the Premier League, then that should avoid massive wage hikes. We lose to Kassim Pasa, and that means with Rosenborg beating Mulder, I'm not sure what the group stage looks like there. We are indeed out, it appears to be the case. So with 4 points, we do not progress in the pre-season tournament. Indeed, we don't. Rosenborg and Kassim Pasa both got 5 points. They go through. And again, we falter in a pre-season tournament despite getting our first win of a pre-season tournament. 720 grand to the budget. Josh Emanuel's got a 2-match suspension now because he got sent off in one of them. Being my only right back at present. So I'll head towards that Fleetwood game now. And you will join me on the 1st of August. It's nice to start our new division with a familiar opponent, albeit an opponent that beat us in the last game we played against them. They snuck in on the last day, literally the last day, to get automatic promotion ahead of Charlton, who did win the playoffs and came up with us anyway. So, familiar opponent in Fleetwood to start. We may play QPR today or not, I'm not sure. And then moving forward, I'm going to wait for your feedback on this video before I record the next to know if I sign a right back in this window, who to sign, and so forth. And if you don't want me to sign someone, then I know I can just progress forward and then not worry about it till at least January. So, drop the video a like. If you're enjoying this save so far, please let me know where you think I might finish in the Championship this season in the comment section down below. The board only want a mid-table finish. I'd love to challenge for the playoffs, especially considering it's FIFA, not Football Manager, so it is a realistic possibility. But we'll wait and see. If it takes us 2 years to get out of the Championship, so be it. I have a funny feeling it may take us a couple of years to get out of the Championship, but we'll see what we can do in this first year at this level. Leeds United back down at this level after being relegated from the Premier League last year, as were Sheffield United, as you can see here, as were Aston Villa. So they're back down at this level as well. So we've got some big clubs, some massive clubs back in the Championship this season. I hope we can do well. I hope we can do well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, of course, so you don't miss out on any further content on the channel. Hit that notification bell, all of you that are subscribed, so you don't miss a video. And I will see you against Fleetwood, if not with some transfer news before. So as we approach the game against Fleetwood, I have just 2 things to bring to you. One, that Jones has been sold. Alfie Jones is gone. The financial report is now complete. We've 100% done that. They gave us 3 seasons to do that. We've done it in a season and a month. So we've done it in like 13 months, so that was pretty good going. And the U-Squad monthly reports come in for the players that are already at us, but they're all now 16. Unfortunately, Angus King doesn't look like he's going to be that good, so I'm probably going to let him go. But the other 2 look very good. Logan Ewing is currently a 62 rated centre mid, but hopefully can continue to improve. He can play so many different positions, although with 44 jumping, he's probably not going to be utilised at centre-back. And Rob Wallace is a week or so away, supposedly, although that has been the case for almost a month now, a week away from completing his transformation to a centre-mid. And I'm very, very much intrigued to see what his overall rating is as a centre-mid, as opposed to a cam or centre-forward, where I think, actually, he's going to be better suited to an outright CM role than he is anything else. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he looks like once we change that position, what his overall might change to. The morale in the squad is, well, average. You can see there, content. So I'm going to try and raise it here a bit before the game against Fleetwood. We had a bid for Joshua Emanuel as well of about £4.9 million, which I did turn down. So it would have obviously more than given us an extra massive boost financially of like 25% extra on top of what we've already got. But I want Joshua Emanuel to be the player at right back for us for a considerable period of time. So I'm looking, like I say, for a backup, whether that be someone that you guys recommend, whether that be someone that comes through the youth setup, or even perhaps Delican's gone from 68 to 70 rated in the space of the first few weeks of this season. That's intriguing. Or perhaps even someone from the free agents that I haven't actually dipped into yet. Let's see what right backs are available in the free agents briefly whilst I have you with me. Doesn't look like there's going to be anyone that... Well, he might have some pace. Might have some pace there. Decent acceleration, not necessarily the best sprint speed. Zico Bailey? Is he any good? I don't know. If you guys recognise any of... Obviously not the regens names, but the real life players' names, and you know that they grow quite well, then do let me know. Roman Bayar looks like he could be pretty promising, so I'll scout him and add him to the transfer list. Physically, acceleration looks good. Sprint speed could do with some training, but if he's got high crossing, you never know, might be very much usable on the right-hand side of defence as a backup. Cyrus Christie, formerly of Derby County, he could be a good free signing at right back. Be a hell of a free signing at right back. Let me know what you think of that. Only 12 days to scout to bring him. James Clark, I don't really know anything of him. Rory Collins. Not necessarily looking to only sign regens. Just seems like one of the more obvious things to do. We will probably be doing a regen. He looks like he could be pretty decent, you know, Patrick Goebel. We will be doing a regen only. Bradley Halliday. Former Cambridge Knight, he's probably not good enough, unfortunately. But Bradley Halliday's it'll be great to bring him in. Flashbacks to the RTG of a couple of years ago. Unfortunately left Cambridge now in real life. But like I say, tackling-wise, he's not going to be that good. Otar Kakabadze, a Georgian international. Well, I don't know whether he's an international. He's a Georgian national. We will be doing I'm planning on doing, unless you guys definitively don't want it, a youth regen only save later in the year. Haji Mnoga, good physicals, terrible technicals. Okay, never mind then. So if you'd be interested in that, I know I've asked you a handful of times before, and the general response has been positive. So certainly that's why I'm considering it. You might be okay. I look more of just from previous years of training. I look more for physical stats than technicals, but now you can kind of train most of the physical stats already yourself, can't you, with the development plans? It's not necessarily too much of an issue. Hello, Ibrahim Asori Sankon. You might be an option as well. We'll scout and wait and see what you look like. If any of these guys stand out to you, then do let me know. Decent in the tackle. If not, then feel free to leave me your own transfer suggestions elsewhere. Again, might not be amazing in the tackle, but might be worthwhile having a look there. More free agents than I imagined there would be. That's a load of right backs, isn't it? So we'll see what you guys say. But for now, I'm going to jump into this game against Fleetwood and hopefully get 3 points to start our championship season. Fleetwood starting lineup. That's a new look for them a little bit. Leutwiler in goal is certainly not a name I remember from playing against them. It's still got Paddy Madden up top. Actually, no, they're playing Paddy Madden wide left with Rydell up top. So Fleetwood have made some changes from the side that got them promoted. We have not yet. We'll wait and see who's made the right decision. Us to stick with the squad that we had to try and see if they can grow and get us out of this division. Or Fleetwood, who have made changes, presumably to try and keep them in the division for the time being. Although, you never know, they might get some growth out of their squad as well. It's normally whichever side commits to a handful of young regens that tends to get the better growth. But at least that means we don't have to be a massively lucrative, flush financial club to actually get some promising potential out of our overall squad. We don't need to go and buy the world's best when you can create your own. And that's the beauty of mixing a young side that Hull had here already with the regen options that we could get. Oh! And what makes the potential of a youth RTG or youth-only RTG so exciting as well. Keane Lewis Potter was one of our best players last year, and he very nearly scored the first goal for us back in the Championship. Holgate lofted over there to Camps. He beat us 1-0 with a lovely goal in the last episode, actually, wasn't it? Yesterday, Fleetwood getting the victory of me, which arguably, come the end of the season, was the result that saw them primarily finish where they did in the league. We'll go one more, and I could wait for the run on the right-hand side. We might not need it. Greg Doherty's in, and he's hit the post. I mean, we're getting closer. Keane Lewis Potter flashing wide, and Greg Doherty hitting the post, but that's not good enough. That's two really good opportunities to take the lead here in this game that we've, well, there's no other word for it, wasted. Here's Jordan Ross. It's a lovely little reverse pass to Rydell. Can't get away from me, thankfully. And Malik Wilkes played in. And Fleetwood have been very attacking here and have left numbers over further forward. And unfortunately, Keane Lewis Potter, who was the man I was going to try and find. Pinto! Our highest rated player and our best prospect is the man to score the first goal back at the Championship. Let's go! Lovely volley. What I was going to say was Keane Lewis Potter initially started as the man at the back post, and it was he who I was thinking about finding. But he drove inside. You can see him there coming inside towards the penalty area now, and Pinto went where he was. As it turns out, Good decision by Pinto. He's the one on the end of the cross. He's the one who sweeps us 1-0 in front against Fleetwood. In the 24th minute, let the history books know. The first goal of our new season in the Championship, scored by our best prospect and brightest star, Leonardo Pinto. Madden. Cross could come in. Still. Not on this occasion. He tried to, but couldn't find it through. Oh, he's won it back though, Paddy Madden. I hate playing against Paddy Madden. He's always really good. His counts with a nice smart turn and feeds Rideout, who turns even sharper and buries it. Maybe it's not just Paddy Madden. Maybe I don't like playing Fleetwood at all. We did beat them the first time we played them last year, but they've just gotten better and better. That turn from Rideout was very, very good. Completely sold. Either Jordi Device or Reece Burke it was that was with him. I think it was Device. It was Jordi Device, our captain. He's buried it well though, and Fleetwood fire back. Great footwork to shift it out from underneath his feet and bury it in the back of the net. Back to the drawing board. It's Middlesbrough that have scored. They go 1-0 up against Bristol City. I don't know, outside of the obvious teams that have just come down from the league above, who's going to really threaten in the Championship this year for promotion. I don't know whether we'll be one of the best and most competitive teams in this league with the way that we're planning on going with the squad. But I certainly hope we can be there or thereabouts with regards challenging for the playoffs. You imagine it's going to be teams like Leeds and Aston Villa that will be challenging for the 2 automatic spots. And Bournemouth are still in this division, so they'll be there or thereabouts, you would imagine. We'll wait and see. Like I say, let me know in the comment section down below where you think I'll finish. First and second is automatic promotion. Third, fourth, fifth and sixth, the playoffs. I'd love it if we squeak sixth. Might have to come late in the season as we might well do what we did last year. Start off slower with a lower rated team. And as the team grows in ability and ratings, so do the results start to come. And we fire our way up the table. Wait and see. But I'd love to sneak sixth place, wouldn't you? And get into the playoffs and have the opportunity to maybe get to the Premier League with back-to-back promotions. Has been done by teams in the past to go from League One to the Premier League in back-to-back seasons. Although it is rare. Across the camps. Nice tackle by Jordi Device. Keane Lewis Potter's the obvious option on that left-hand side. Pinto and McGuinness available in the middle. And Malik Wilkes could be there at the back post. McGuinness could rise up with a header. That's the one thing that we won't get from Charlie Barnett if we decide to swap him out for Josh McGuinness. How many goals last year did McGuinness get for us with his head? Be it from open play or from a set piece, a corner or a free kick. A very big percentage, and some of them particularly important too. That's what we'd miss if we didn't have McGuinness in the side. But certainly we could keep him in the squad perhaps and bring him on off the bench later on in games. Or maybe we stick with McGuinness for the first half of the season and have Barnett as the impact sub. And then when Barnett becomes too good to really ignore for that first team spot, then we drop McGuinness. I genuinely don't know which way to go at the minute. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think in the comment section. And if one way is certainly more popular, significantly more popular than the other, then I will, of course, act upon it. And Aston Villa are significantly better than Reading, it seems, as they're winning their opening day back at this level by 3-0 at Villa Park. You can see top left, I have now made a couple of changes. Dave Gunn is on in the centre of midfield. And also brought on is Charlie Barnett up top. We'll see if he can have an impact in these last few moments here. It might even be Fleetwood having the impact strike. Hit well by Ryan Rydell, who is a left-back by default, but can play at left wing. Evidently they're utilising him as a striker here with Paddy Madden out wide. But Rydell, just judging by the way he took his goal, very capable in a forward role. We'll see what we can get from Barnett. He has high attacking work rate and a low defensive work rate, meaning he should, hopefully, be pretty dangerous. He's got that 5-star weak foot. His finishing stat is actually higher than... I still haven't untucked his shirt, have I? His finishing stat is actually higher than Josh McGuinness's. And with McGuinness out, maybe it offers the opportunity for someone else to be clinical from set pieces. But I'm not sure if Jordi Device is that man on that evidence. Good header by Honeyman. Another goal at Villa Park. Oh, Aston Villa 4-0 up now against Reading. Yeah, they're certainly going to be one of the best sides in the division, aren't they, Aston Villa? We are not going to be faring well against them, I don't think, when we come up against them later in the season. That is a superb cross. For some reason, your device heads... I'm not sure why he's done that. He's facing this way, and then he spun around and hit it. Odd. Never mind. Such is the way of things with FIFA physics engine sometimes. Saunders on for Sharon for them. Camps with the corner. And underneath this is, thankfully, Wilkes. Dave Gunn gets that under control and will get it forward looking for Lewis Potter, but he's not first to the ball there, and Stubbs, thankfully, has his pass picked off. Honeyman will look out wide here for Lewis Potter, but he's struggling for stamina now, and I might need to make a change to bring on one of the other youngsters we have on our bench in a wide role. Keep that in play, and then work it central. Honeyman into Dave Gunn. Good footwork from him. Malik Wilkes here, tucked central, asking for it. Will look for Barnett. It's a similar position to where he scored his goal! Last season, we named the episode after him. Has that made up your mind? Is Charlie Barnett the man to lead the line for us this season? That's a lovely goal on his left foot. Left-footed, but with a 5-star weak foot. We've had a chance on either side now, but that is a lovely finish. And maybe, even though he's not as tall and as physical, he might be just as good a goal scorer as McGuinness and offer us more from open play than Josh did, even despite offering us less from set pieces. I'm not sure. I really don't know which way to go. I'd hate to just drop McGuinness straight up because he was so influential for us last season and certainly heavily contributed to the promotion effort. But, oh, is this the changing of the guard? The old striker giving way or making way for the young hotshot? Perhaps it is. You guys will have to let me know, as I say. But with moments to go in this game, we should hopefully now, as the Fleetwood come in behind, seal out this victory and get a 2-1 win. Unless Paddy Madden has something to say at the back post, which he does. A very large something to say. A big header. And Fleetwood, as fans are on the pitch. Fans are on the pitch. I didn't notice that before. There we are, joining in the celebrations again. Loutweiler. Oh my god, I don't know if it's that dramatic. But still, on the opening day, sorry, not the final day. Well, on the final day, they managed to get themselves promotion. And on the opening day, they get themselves a last gasp equaliser. It turns out, if you're looking for drama with the team that you support, Fleetwood Town might well be the side for you. A draw on the opening day. It could have been so much more if Keane Lewis Potter had tucked that away, or if the latter effort from... Sorry, who was Malik Wilson? No, it was Greg Doherty, wasn't it, that raced through and hit the post. Villa battering Reading. Sheffield Wednesday off to a winning start, as are Middlesbrough. We could have been slightly higher than 13th in the table, couldn't we? Monthly scouting report. Oh, an offer for Lewis Potter. Thankfully from someone from Standard Liège. We quite comfortably turned that down. Right, are we going to have a worldy goalkeeper? Are we going to have some worldy defenders? Certainly not Jensen Hancock. Certainly not Nicholas Robinson either. Maybe Leo Gray, maybe. Might have to give that one more month. Maybe I'll call him up just to see what he looks like. No. And, again, no. Not really too good there. Right, goalkeeper-wise. 64 to 86. 57 to 71 is definitely a no. 200,000. What were you valued at? 160. I don't just want to call up anyone for the sake of calling someone up. And no. So, month one, nothing really doing with regards to the youth players. But we know that they can come good. So, Leo Gray is a CDM with 69 jumping at 6'3", 5-star weak foot. That shouts centre-back to me. But I'm not sure I'm not sure if he's going to be worth putting effort into, because I'm pretty sure we're going to get better options than a 58 rated player. Maybe by changing his position to a centre-back, we might be able to boost his overall slightly, quite considerably. We'll see what we can do with that. Let me know. Do I continue on putting effort into Leo Gray? Do we think in a latter month we might be able to get some better options? I'm not sure as things stand. I'm really not sure. But that will be where we'll end it for today. I think I need to get some feedback from you guys before I push much further. We'll go as far as this game against QPR, but not actually play it. So, feedback in the comment section down below. What do I do with the striking role? Who takes the starting spot through the middle, up top, continually this season? Do we start with Josh McGuinness and go with the player that arguably is the reason why we are where we are this season? Or do we switch tactics and go with the youngster and hope that he can lead us to success this season with a full first year involved in the starting lineup? Who do I buy at right back? Do I hold out for young potentials, or do I try and sign someone at right back, bearing in mind that I would like... Oh, Charlie Barnett wants to play against QPR. To be fair, after scoring the goal in the last game, I might well give him the start against QPR. But if he doesn't impress here, then obviously we can go back to Josh McGuinness. But yes, like I say, bearing in mind, I'd like Josh Emmanuel to continue to be my starting right back. We haven't yet got scout reports back on these guys, but these guys could be good. Roman Bayard, 19 years of age. I mean, he could be good at centre-back. He's 6'3" and fast. Jumping's not amazing, but could be trained. Crossing's good, though, so perhaps would be a waste at centre-back if he could play right-back. Cyrus Christie is obviously a player that has championship experience. I don't know anything about Patrick Goebel, to be completely honest, but we'll wait and see what his stats look like. I know nothing of Sankon or Nicolas Trapicchio either. These physical stats do look like they could be quite good. So perhaps we'll wait and see what you guys think and what those reports come back as. But for now, that's going to bring this episode to a close. We could even... Actually, let me check. We could even... Are any of these guys left-footed? Right. No, I was hoping maybe one of them could be left-footed so I could sign them, call them up, and change them to a left-back. But it doesn't look like that's going to be an option. Unless any of them had a 5-star weak foot. Come on, Ches, you can do it. There we go, well done. Navigating the menus. 5-star weak foot anywhere? Even a 4-star? No, unfortunately not. Okay, not to worry. Not to worry. Adelican not got a club yet. I'll be intrigued to know where he goes. And actually, just for curiosity's sake, I'd love to see what Daniel Batty has done with his growth this save. Now that we let him go to Espanyol. He's 73 rated. Wow, he has excelled. He's absolutely excelled. Wow. That's huge, Daniel Batty. Wow. Absolutely massive. Still no news on changing the position of young... Where are we? What was his name? Not Leo Gray. Young Wallace. Still waiting for that to finally go through. It's getting there, but it's taking a while. But I certainly think as a centre mid, he could be pretty good. And I think his rating might well go up from 65. And we could consider him part of the squad moving forward. And he certainly goes straight onto the bench as now we've lost Alfie Jones. Well, not lost Alfie Jones. I moved him on. It was a purposeful decision, wasn't it? So we'll put Grant on the bench for now. But Grant, it's one of those youngsters that's really going to take that rotation role for now. And then we'll continue to look to move some of these other guys on. We'll see what happens in the remainder of the transfer window. But for today, that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued support on this save. Hopefully we can have a very solid Season 2. Keen Lewis Potter already up to 71 rated, as you can see there. Wilkes to 72. Pinto to 76. Emmanuel to 74. That's already genuinely looking like a side that could challenge for the playoffs with those ratings, perhaps. If we're lucky, if we put together a good run of form towards the end of the season, like last year. We'll wait and see. But for now, very happy with the way things are. And just with the right addition, 1 or 2 players, be they bought or youth scouted, then maybe we could challenge for promotion this year. We'll wait and see. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.